A business process model documents a business process using a standardized graphic notation. Mac A&D and Win A&D use the state document with a specific method selection within the document defaults dialog. Here we can see the business process model method has been selected. This enables a specific editor designed to efficiently draw business process models of various types. We can see some of those different diagrams shown here by selecting them in the contents view. All BPM diagrams consist of nodes and lines. There's various kinds of nodes defined by the notation, including activity and gateway or decision type nodes, and those are connected by various kinds of lines representing the relationships between the nodes. These nodes and lines are created with the state and transition tools within Mac A&D and Win A&D. Let's look at the mechanics of drawing a diagram by creating a new one. So we'll give the name to the diagram. A pool with swim lanes is a very common feature within a business process model, and we'll illustrate that here. We'll give the name to our pool. It'll be a horizontal pool, and we'll have several swim lanes, which we're going to be naming here. So here we can see our pool, which we can move it around and resize it as needed on our diagram. And we can see within the service company there will be some processes organized by employee, supervisor, or manager, whoever is involved in that various part of the overall business process. Now we'll draw a start event and put a couple of activities on this business process. We'll start by giving it a name, and this will be an event of type start. We'll give it a background color, and we can position the name anywhere we want next to the node. We'll create an activity, call it fill out form, and this is of type task activity, and let's give it a different background color. We can resize it as needed, and then we'll add a second activity named review form, and we'll just clone the fill out form that we created earlier to acquire the same properties. Now we've got our three nodes on the diagram. We can draw a connection between those nodes with the transition tool, and we can select what kind of relationship we're drawing between those two different nodes. And here we have the start of a simple business process model. Let's review some of the different diagram types you can create with BPM notation. Here we have a pizza collaboration diagram where we have a pizza customer and we have a pizza vendor with delivery boy, chef, and waitress swim lanes. We can see that we have various events, activities, and gateways or decisions that occur during the course of this business process and the connections between them. Here's another example of a diagram where we have an order fulfillment process taking place that gets initiated when an order received event occurs, and then it goes through various activities along the way, and various decisions are made whether or not, for example, the article is available. If not, it has to go through a procurement process. Well, that process may actually have multiple steps involved, and so it can be expanded onto a child diagram, which we see here. Here's another example of a BPM diagram. In this case, we have an auction house choreography. The nodes in this diagram, there's a choreography task here where this is the name of the choreography, and it consists of multiple participants. We have an initiating seller participant, and the auction house is the receiving participant of this particular choreography task. If we wanted to look at the specific properties of that or any of the other nodes in this diagram, we could just select it, bring up the properties dialog. Here we see it's a choreography task activity, and there's the name of it. And if we look at our list of participants, we can see that the seller participant is the initiating participant in this process, and it's identified with a star indicating it's the initiating participant. And then the auction house is the receiving participant, and there could be multiple participants listed. Let's take a look at a final example of a conversation diagram consisting mostly of nodes representing conversations. Here is a conversation activity, and we've given it a name. And here is a participant activity, which is given a name. Business process models can be used with other features of the tool, like requirements management, data dictionary, or scriptable reports. It can also be used with other methods and notations like structured analysis and design, UML, data modeling, system modeling, and simulation. Let's take a look at how we can take one of the activities on our business process model and define it as a requirement entry with detailed information about that particular activity. We'll do so by clicking the Show Requirements button. If there is no requirement entry with that name, it allows us to instantly generate one. We can assign a template, and we'll see how that template works in just a moment. And when we click OK, it's now presented a definition dialog that's driven by that user-defined template. Okay, in this case, the template determines what fields of information can be collected for this specific entry definition, and various selections of those fields in different text editing sections. So as an example, let's go ahead and define a quick summary for this activity. And we can use the type field to determine what type of activities. In this case, it's a human control activity. It could be a computerized activity, some piece of software, or some external activity outside of our organization. Again, all these fields, the various selections available for those fields, and various sections of free format text editing, like a list of inputs to the activity or outputs from the activity, or maybe comments field where other participants in the process can collaboratively add information about that activity. This is all controlled by a simple little template that you can create and assign to the various requirement entries as you're adding them from any kind of diagram. Let's look at the description section in particular. Here's where we usually would define a detailed narrative of that particular activity. So let's detail some of the steps in this activity. And here we're just defining the main scenario that would occur under the majority of cases, but every once in a while there'll be a certain error condition. For example, let's create a special scenario that would occur in the case that the oven is full. And there we can detail a different course of action that may be taken. And we can have as many of these different scenarios in addition to the main scenario as we want. And finally, we see we've now added one new requirement entry linked back to that business process model that we'd created. To share diagrams with other people or programs, you can export a collection of diagrams out as a PDF file or individual diagrams out as image files of various formats. For example, we could generate an image file from the diagram in a particular format, give it a name, and now we have an image file that can be used by other people or inserted into other applications. To summarize, Mac A&D and Win A&D supports the business process model notation with a variety of different types of diagrams, including collaboration, process, choreography, and conversation diagrams.